Today you're going to begin working on your final task for the unit Imagine That. This task is going to ask you to write across the two texts that you've read, Odd, Weird, and Little, and Cloud Fishing. We have spent time over the past 2 weeks reading, thinking, talking, and writing about Odd, Weird, and Little by Patrick Jennings and Cloud Fishing by Zach Falcon. We examined the lessons two characters learn and the methods these authors use to help capture the reader's imagination. We also learned about writing explanations and supporting ideas with evidence from text. All of this work has prepared you for this final task. Okay, let's look at the purpose. The final task has two purposes. One is to apply what you've learned about the methods these authors use to capture the reader's imagination. And number two, to practice writing an explanation. Okay, now let's take a look at the task. The task asks you to write an essay in which you explain one method a writer should use to help capture the reader's imagination. So as we've read these two texts, if you'll think back, we looked at Odd, Weird, and Little and discussed what kinds of tools the author used to help make his writing more interesting. And then for the second story, Cloud Fishing, we did the same. So as you begin to plan for this task and write, there are a few things you should remember. You have already done much of the thinking that is required to draft your explanation. For example, you have already looked at the methods both Jennings and Falcon use to help you see and understand their stories. This is a good starting point for you in selecting a method that a writer should use to help capture the reader's imagination. As you plan and write your explanation, keep in mind the qualities of an effective explanation. Clearly stated ideas, evidence to support your ideas, and clear explanations that state how the evidence supports or links to your ideas. Organize your writing so that it flows and is easy to follow. When you quote a specific line from a text, be sure to copy it accurately, put quotation marks around it, and give the author's name and the line numbers of the quotation in the parentheses. Below is an example. Notice that the part that is quoted is in quotation marks, and the period that ends the sentence comes after the parentheses. So down below, you can see here in italicized, it's italicized. It says, in Cloud Fishing, it says, ducking and pulling in the wind, the gold kite flashed in the sun, while the baited tail jigged invitingly. So to show that this quote came directly from the text, quotation marks have been put around it. It also puts in parentheses the author's name and the lines of the story from which it came. So now we're going to spend a few minutes thinking about the tools that you need to write an effective story. So if you'll go back and think for a minute, from all of the charts that we've completed in these two stories, which one would be most helpful? If you want to gather those, and we will take a look at those charts as well. So we did do a lot of charting with both of these stories. One chart that we completed was getting to know the characters. The other chart that we completed was how the character felt throughout the story. And the third chart that we completed was looking at author's craft. And so this is the chart that you'll need for Odd, Weird, and Little. It's Task 1.3, Getting to Know Toulouse. At the top, if you'll remember, we talked about what moment from the story helped us understand Toulouse. And then what did that moment help you understand about the character? And then in the last box, we recorded ways the author, the tools he used as a writer to help the reader imagine Toulouse. So if you have chart 1.3 from Odd, Weird, and Little, this will help you plan and write your story. And the other chart that you will need is chart 2.3. Now this chart was titled Bringing Sky to Life, and this is the chart that we used with the story Cloud Fishing. The headings at the top are very similar. The first box, we recorded ways that the moment that helps the reader imagine the setting and action of the story. And in the middle box, we recorded how that moment helped you understand the story. And in the last box, we explained what tools the author used to help us imagine the setting and actions of the story. Now, everyone may have included different moments or tools that the author used when you were charting for Odd, Weird, and Little. But just to go back and review, some of the things that we included was the title, Odd, Weird, and Little. And we said that the author used adjectives to let us know that the story isn't about any ordinary kid. Another tool this author used was short sentences. He was short, real short, kindergartner short, and he was wearing a gray pinstripe suit and a tie. So this helped us to understand that Toulouse is shorter than even the youngest kids at school, but he dressed like an adult in a suit. So the tool the author used for this example was short sentences to emphasize how short Toulouse is and to point out Toulouse's outfit. So as we go back and look over the tools that we chose for each of the authors in these stories, we're going to start to see some similarities. So let's go for just a minute and take a look at the chart we completed for cloud fishing. Okay, and if you'll go back and remember, in the story Cloud Fishing, the author used lots of figurative language. So you can see here in this first example, it says, above her sailed billowing cloud ships with tall sails unfurled. Nimbus wells breached, blocking the sun, while wisps of cirrus clouds rippled like seaweed. The tool that the author used in this example was a metaphor. He was comparing the sky to the sea, and it helped me to understand how Jean saw the sky when she looked at it. In the story Cloud Fishing, the author used lots of figurative language. In the story Odd, Weird, and Little, the author used lots of descriptive language. So as you're going back through your charts, you will want to think about what is one similarity or one tool that both authors used. An example might be the title. In both stories, the author chose a specific title to help us understand and maybe give a preview to what the story might be about. You may choose metaphors or figurative language. In both stories, you might find examples of where the authors used some figurative language to help you understand the story. Or for both stories, you might choose descriptive language. The authors in both stories used lots of adjectives to help us visualize what was happening in the story. So you're ready to begin. You'll need both of these charts in front of you to help you plan and write your story. Just as a reminder, let's go back and look at the task for just a second. Okay, so here's the task again. You're going to write an essay in which you explain one method a writer should use to help capture the reader's imagination. So go back, take a look at your charts, think about how both of these authors captured your imagination, and we can't wait to read your stories.